What is up everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to set up Android for Unreal 5.5. So without further ado, let's get started. As Unreal 5.5 got released, I wanted to test few features for Android. Hence I wanted to package the Unreal project to Android APK so that I can test it up on my device. But for some reason I was getting the Android SDK setup error, hence I wasn't able to package the project itself. So quickly I went to Unreal Engine setup guide for Android SDK. Over there I found the proper versions of the SDKs, NDK and the JDK you need for Unreal 5.5 specifically. But even after following every step, I was not able to successfully build the Android APK. So I went to the forums and searched for this query, is anyone not able to package their Unreal project? So I saw a lot of people are struggling with packaging this Android project. I searched on multiple forums on Reddit, and even I posted this query on Unreal Engine's official Discord channel. And even after their support, I wasn't able to successfully build this up. So after multiple iterations and trials of setting up which version of SDKs, NDK, JDK, I was successfully able to package this Unreal project for Android so we can test the new features in Unreal 5.5 in Android. Well, shout out to my guy Iron Man who helped me fix this issue quickly. He's one of the amazing C++ programmers I know in the Unreal Engine community. So let's start with doing the Android Studio setup. Step 1 is to open up the Epic Games launcher, head up to the library tab, and inside the engine version you will find Unreal 5.5. Now head up to this drop down menu and open up options. Over here you will find target platforms. You need to make sure that you have installed the Android target platform. So if it is not installed, just click on this and hit apply, and it will automatically install the important components needed for Unreal Engine to set up Android. So after this is done, so it takes around like 8 to 9 gigabytes. And it does take a while to install that. Make sure that you close the Unreal Engine if it is open in the background, so that it will start downloading and installing this module, the Android module for Unreal 5.5. So until that is getting installed, you can download the Android Studio and you can set that up. So to get the exact version of which Android Studio you need for the Android SDKs, NDK and JDK, let's head up to the Unreal Engine's official documentation. So I'll just open up this Chrome browser and we'll search for Unreal Engine Android SDK, and you will find this link, setting up Android SDK and NDK for Unreal. So when you open this up, you will find that by default it will open up Unreal version 4.27, which is obsolete. So now over here on the left hand side you will find the version you need. So select Unreal 5.5, and over here you need to again search Android and also search SDK, and you'll find the same link that we need. So setting up Android SDK and NDK, and over here they gives the required version that we actually need for 5.5. So what we need is the Android Studio version Koala 2024.1.2 August 29 version, this one, and here is the SDK's version that we need. So SDK 34, the NDK version and the build tool version. So we'll look up to this once we have downloaded this version of Android Studio. So where can you find this version of Android Studio? Just click on this advanced Android Studio setup guide. This will open up a new link, and you just have to scroll down and you will find Android Studio archive. So I'll open this up on a new tab, and over here we will then find the exact Android Studio version we need for Unreal 5.5. Alright, so I'll scroll down, agree. Alright, and I'll just find this date itself. So yep, this one it is, and I'll head up to the installers, Windows 64-bit, and we'll wait for this to download and then we'll install this. So once it is downloaded, just open up the exe to start with the Android Studio setup. Now over here, make sure that you keep everything by default, even the directory of the Android Studio. So I'll just install this, and once it is installed, we'll start with the SDK setup. So over here we will look up to which version you will need for Unreal 5.5. So let's wait for this to install. And yep, let's start Android Studio. So it will open the Android Studio, this version itself. So welcome to Android Studio, and over here click on this more actions drop down menu and find the SDK manager. So I already installed the SDK previously, but for you it will not be installed. So make sure you click on the SDK version 34 over here. So it will not be enabled by default. So click on this, and then you need to go to SDK tools over here. So go to SDK tools, and you need to click on this button right here so that you will see the exact version we need for the SDK. So with the build tools, you will need 34.0.0. So make sure you select this. You do not need anything else. Alright, so after that, the NDK version, you will find the NDK version we need is 25. So which 25 version? So I tested all of these. So which one works is 25.1.8. So make sure you select this one, and there you go. Next is the Android SDK CMD tools, so command line tools. You just pick up the latest version, which is the 16.0. So click on this, and the CMake version you will need is 3.10.2, this one right here. Then you will also need this Android emulator, SDK platforms, and I think that's it. So after this is done, it will prompt you to apply, and when you hit apply, it will download all these SDKs, NDK version from the repository, and then it will install it on this location by default. Alright, once this is done, hit apply and then hit OK. Now you have the proper SDK NDK for your Android Studio. Now what else do you need is the JDK version, Java Runtime, which is version 17. So just select this and paste it over here, and you will find Java SE 17 archives. So from here you scroll down to Windows 64 and click on this. It will install the exe for Java. So now I will open this up to install the JDK 17. So wait for it to open up, and I've already installed it. Let's reinstall it over here. So here also you don't need to change any directory, just stick to the default parameters. So it will install by default. So hit next. So just remember, this is the directory for JDK, C program files Java JDK 17. Hit next and it will be done in few seconds. So now let's open up any Unreal Engine 5.5 project. For me, I'll just launch 5.5 and I'll select the third person template and we'll build the third person template for Android. So we'll open this up and we'll select the third person template. So I'll click on the games tab and select the third person, and over here I will type Android TPP, and the target platform over here is I'm going to set it to mobile, and the quality preset I'm going to set it to scalable. So now the third person template has opened up. You will find that the graphics of this is really low, and you will find over here in the scalability settings that it has been set to low. So why it has been set to low automatically? Because when we went to the target hardware, we set it to scalable and not the maximum. So if I head back over there and if I show you in the target hardware, we set it to mobile, and this quality we set it to scalable. If we set it to maximum, it will automatically set all the rendering features to max. But if you set it to scalable, so according to the platform that you set, some features are disabled by default, but then they can be enabled based on the actual hardware. So it is always recommended to set this to scalable. and then you can manually enable or disable the things that you need for your Android device. Alright, so supported platform, I will just untick. I will just enable it for Android and Windows. Target hardware is set to this. Alright, now what we need is we need to set this map for Android, for packaging it for Android. So go to project settings again, and if you scroll down, you will find over here maps and modes. By default it has been set to third person map, which is what we need. And also go to all setting and search for list of maps, and you will find list of maps to include in the packaged build. So click on this plus key, and then over here you need to select the UMap file, or the actual map of this third person map inside this files. So go to the third person maps and select a UMap. So it will explicitly include this. So it will just include this map for the package. Alright, after this is done, now we need to set the Android SDK location, NDK location, and the JDK location inside the project settings. Now scroll down over here, you will find in the platforms, go to Android. You'll find that the APK packaging is now not configured. So click on configure now, and over here the package build name, here you can put your package name. So com.epicsync.tpp or anything you want, but you make sure that you follow this naming convention. Alright, so the minimum SDK you can set it to 26, but the target SDK, so here's the twist. So we know that for 5.5 we need the SDK set it to 34, but what happens is the NDK doesn't find 34 target SDK. So instead of 34, the NDK version 25.1 that we install, it doesn't find the target SDK 34. So hence we're going to use SDK 33 over here. But keep in mind, we have not installed 33, the SDK. You go to Android Studio, open up again. So again, go over here, SDK Manager, you will find that 33 is not installed. Only thing installed is 34, and 35 by default is here, and 26 is there. Right, but you'll find 33 we haven't installed it over here. Nothing related to that. Okay, so over here we are just going to add 33, and the minimum is 26. Scroll down and you will also find the Google Play service you need to configure. And yeah, that is it over here. Now on the left hand side, you go to Android SDK setup over here. Here you need to actually set the location. So the location, you just go back over here in the Android Studio, SDK Manager, copy this location. So Control A, Control C, copy this, and just right here, paste it. You can just open this up as well, and you can paste it right over here. And if you go to Android SDK, this is the location that we need for the SDK. Alright, for the NDK, you're gonna paste this again, and inside this Android SDK you will find NDK folder. Now open this NDK folder, and you have to go inside this subfolder 25.1. Click on this and select, let me try again. So NDK, this, and select folder. Let me check. NDK, this, yep, just like that. Now the JDK, just remember where you have installed the JDK, the C, program files, Java, search over here, and JDK 17. Go inside this folder and click on select folder, just like that. Now over here in the SDK API level, you need to set it to Android 33, and the NDK API level also you need to set to Android 33, and that's it. After this is done, I don't think you need to do any more changes. Here are some graphical changes that you can set, but for now I'll just keep it to default. And over here, go to all settings, and here's the project name that you can set. So I just set it to TPP Android. Alright, and here you can set the version of your APK actually. Okay, I'm just gonna close this up, and to build it for Android, click on this platform. Firstly, you're gonna select this refresh platform status. Click on this. After it is done querying, you go to Android and make sure you select the shipping build so that the actual size of the APK will be reduced. So click on shipping, and I'm going to select Android ASDC format and click on package project. You will find over here that it is installed. Okay, click on package project. Over here inside my project folder, I'm going to create a new folder called it at build. So I'm just going to open this build folder. It was already there. I'm just going to click on this build folder and click on select folder. Now it is going to take a lot of time because it will cook all the elements in this project. It will cook it first and then it is going to package it for Android. So it's going to take a while. It will compile all the shaders as well with respect to the shader model Android, right? So once you hear that beautiful sound, you will know that your build is successful. You can check that in your output log that the build is successful, and it took me around 17 minutes to build, and it has been saved right over here inside this build folder and with this package name. Alright, so I'll open up the build right over here, and you will find that we have the APK over here. You'll find there are multiple APKs, and we have the OBB file also, which is actually the data file. So what you can actually do is build the data file inside the APK. So for that, you can go to project settings again, go to Android in the platform, and you will find package the game data inside APK. So just click on this. And also one thing that you could do is sometimes some projects will need the storage permissions in Android. So to actually get that storage permissions, you can set it in the manifest file also, but directly we have permissions inside the project settings. So just search over here permissions, and currently there are no permissions. So click on this plus, and I'm going to put this permission over here, android.permission.write external storage, and another one is read external storage, which is this one. So android.permission.read external storage and write external storage. After this is done, now I'm gonna hit refresh and I'm gonna hit package project again. Now this time it is not going to take 17 minutes to build. I'm just gonna delete everything from here. So let me just hit shift delete. So this time I'm going to create a new folder over here. Just going to write Android build, and just gonna click. So it will start, and it's gonna take around 1 to 2 minutes to build it successfully. So yeah, this is the sound that I was talking about. You will find that the build is successful and it has been saved right over here. And let's head over to this folder. So inside the Android build, now you will find that there is no OBB file. We just have an APK right over here. So what you have to do is click on the Android shipping by ARM64. So just connect your Android device. Make sure the USB debugging is been turned on. After that, I'm just gonna click on this install, and it's gonna take few seconds to install the APK on my Android device. After the APK has been installed successfully, I'm just going to use this SCRCPY app, which is an open source software. You can find it on GitHub. This software enables you to screen share the mobile screen on the Windows platform. So just like as you can see, I'm just going to open up the app drawer and you will find Android TPP app right over here. So once this is open, let me just close this and open this up again, and there you go. It is now in the landscape mode, and now you will find you have the two controls right over here to control the camera, and this one over here to control the movement of this character. So how amazingly it is working, and these controls has already been set by this template. The Unreal has already set these controls for mobile. So yeah, currently it is in the scalable mode. You can set it to maximum modes for higher fidelity. So currently it is in low graphics, as you can see. So yeah, this is now you can just play with this third-person template. You can use any other map. Of course, you will need to optimize those maps you want to see in the Android. So yeah, this is how you can set up the Android platform in Unreal 5.5, package your Unreal project, run it on your Android device. So let me know what other tutorials would you like me to create. The next tutorial I'm going to create is for the game animation sample project Unreal 5.5, and I'm going to port it in the Android APK. It's going to be interesting. So stay tuned for more. Peace.